Are you in the market for your next premium Xbox controller? I got you. And we're back, DLG fam. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to all the new viewers. Y como siempre, ya lo saben. Bienvenidos a todos al canal DLG. Gracias por tomar el tiempo en venir a nuestro canal. So guys, premium controllers. The last time I had one was with the Xbox Elite Series 2. And it did last a while, but the problem was the right bumper button ended up failing after about a year or so. So I have a replacement for you guys. A company by the name of PowerA, you guys have probably heard of them before, has come up with the next Xbox controller that will replace your current one. And wait, the best part of it all is this controller has low latency wireless, Lumectra, and Hall effect modules. And what am I talking about? Bam! The Fusion by PowerA, the Fusion Pro wireless controller with Lumectra. Look at that right there, guys. I did do a review on the Lumectra controller for the Nintendo Switch. That was a pretty sweet looking controller. Now I'm going to do one for the Fusion by PowerA. Man, this looks pretty neat. I'm wondering if the controller looks like this in general, or if it's completely blacked out and when the RGB turns on, it makes it look like this. And when it comes down to the Lumectra controllers by PowerA, these controllers are divided into 4 different lighting zones, each one of them fully customizable to light up the way that you want it. So let's go to the unboxing, check it out, and then like always, put it to the test. Alright guys, there it is, the Fusion by PowerA, Fusion Pro wireless controller. Okay, so it is a ghost face. It says it right here, ghost RGB lighting. So the controller is fully black, and when it lights up, it gives you this effect right here. Hall effect quick twist, low latency wireless, includes the charger, and what else is on here? Look at that, a dedicated app to customize the controller. This is more than likely going to be only on the PC or the Mac possibly, depending on what the controller is compatible with. According to this, designed for the Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, Windows 10, and or 11. Look at that charger right there, that's pretty neat. All right, enough jibber jabber, let's take this out. Oh, okay, I thought this whole thing was gonna slide out. Usually the boxes are like a little drawer, and I guess they changed it up with this one, but you slide this open, and then you take this out right here. One thing I've always liked about PowerA is that they take their time when it comes to designing the box, but let's check out and see if they took their time in designing the actual controller. Check out this piece of artwork right here. That's pretty neat. I like that. So it's like a little card where it gives you instructions on how to connect it to your PC. Here's your Xbox Series X, the S, connected either wired or wirelessly to a laptop, the Xbox Series X or the S. As you can see right here, advanced gaming buttons programming, trigger lock adjustments, because it does have 3 levels of trigger lock: unlocked, halfway, and full lock. That means that you could have those short stop triggers. Quick twist thumbsticks. This is something new that I've never seen before. The RGB LED control. All right, you also get this, appears to be like a sticker. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so check out the charger, guys. That's pretty cool. You got the little Fusion by PowerA right there at the bottom. This puck actually comes out. More than likely, this goes installed on the controller, and you can wirelessly snap that on, and it'll begin to charge, because it does have a USB-C connection right on the top. Where is the dongle for this thing here? Okay, here is the dongle to make your controller wireless. Nothing else in the box. Okay, all right, here we go. Hard shell case. Hey, look at that. It appears to be like a regular Xbox controller, and it does feel kind of heavy. All right, so the top part of the controller is pretty smooth. You cannot remove this faceplate. Usually on the PowerA controllers, you're able to remove the faceplate, not on this one. You do get the little grip here on the actual handles. This appears to be like some type of rubber, or either it's on the plastic. Nope, that's actually rubber. Okay, that's pretty good right there. It makes the controller feel comfortable while you're gripping it. The one thing I am noticing is that the back buttons, these are too low. These back buttons here are pretty low, and you're accidentally going to press them as you're playing. So PowerA, quick tip, place these back buttons a little bit higher and make these bottom ones a little bit smaller, because when you grip it, as you can see right there, the ring finger ends up hovering over the buttons and you accidentally press on them as you're playing. That will potentially happen if you grip the controller a little too hard. So you do get the Hall effect thumbsticks as mentioned before. You know how PowerA usually includes extra thumbsticks on their controllers? They were pretty smart on the design with this. So the thumbsticks, you can actually adjust the height on them. That's pretty neat. You don't have to fiddle with actually replacing the thumbsticks from the extra ones that come with the controller. All you do is pull up and twist and you get the high profile thumbstick, as you can see right there. Twist it again, you get the medium one. Twist it one more time and you get the shorty right there. Same thing goes for the right thumbstick. Shorty, high, medium, back down to shorty. That's pretty cool right there. I like that because you could fully customize the controller on the fly without having to pull out the thumbsticks. All right. Controller feels pretty good. Okay. X, Y, B, A buttons, your menu, your options, your share button, and your volume control right here. Press down to mute the actual mic, volume down, volume up, your 3.5mm jack for your headset, and flip it around. You get your USB-C connection right there, pairing button, and here is the button to program the controller or map it, and the actual LED button that will turn on the LED lights, and you're going to be able to control the lighting of the controller via this button. Here are the stops for the short triggers. Put it in the middle. You get a medium pull, put it all the way out. Short triggers. You could customize it where one side will be a full pull, the other side will be a short pull. It all depends on the way you enjoy gaming. I enjoy having my controllers with a short trigger pull. You do get, as mentioned before, these back buttons right here. Although I don't like the actual layout of them because as soon as I grab the controller, I was already accidentally pressing these buttons right here. You also have a power indicator light and you can reset the controller via this pinhole. So the Fusion Pro does maintain the ergonomical shape that Xbox has always had on their controllers. So how many hours of gameplay do you get off of one full charge? You can get up to 30 hours of gameplay. The PowerA HQ app to control the lighting and the actual mapping of the controller can be downloaded to your Xbox, your Windows 10 or Windows 11 PC. So let's go ahead and power on the controller and see what does it look like. Bam! Look at that, guys. All right, that's pretty neat. I like the design. I might just change the actual coloring of it. But you know what? It might grow onto me, but let's figure out how to control the lighting on it. All right, guys, so in order to turn off the RGB lighting on the controller, you press down the second button on the bottom right here that says LEDS. You press the button twice and it turns it off. As you guys saw, it went to a solid green, and that's pretty neat right there. That's cool. Representative of Xbox, obviously. All right, you guys can see the lighting all around the edges right here. Look at that. That's a nice little effect all around the controller itself. And it does come with this 10-foot braided cable, USB-C on one end, USB-A on the other end. Let's go ahead and plug it into the PC. Put that right there. And you go ahead and you set the controller on top of it as so, and it magnetically attaches itself to it. It will blink to let you know that it's charging. There's the indicator light for the battery. You can also plug it in directly to the PC if you don't want to use the magnetic charging. That's how it sits on the magnetic charger. All right, so let's go ahead and plug it in directly wired to the PC. We're going to go ahead and remap the trigger button to one of the back buttons. So you do that by holding down the Pro/Map button as so. 3 seconds. The Xbox logo will begin to flash. Press down the button you want to program, in this case the trigger, and then the back button. The Xbox logo will light up solid white to let you know that it's been programmed. That's for the remapping. You do that same process for any button that you want to remap on the controller. And let's check out the lighting effects. Look at that. It will light up every time you give the controller an input, whether it's from the joysticks, the buttons, the directional pad. The back buttons don't seem to give it any type of effect, but the right bumper, left bumper, and the triggers give it an effect as well. How about the mute button for the mic? Okay, that doesn't have an effect. Menu, options, and share, those actually light up the effects on the controller. So as far as the lighting goes, it has 6 different lighting modes: solid, cycle, breathing, wave, pulse reactive, which I'm pretty sure this is the one, pulse reactive, and ripple reactive. Actually, I correct myself. This is ripple reactive because it has a ripple effect. You hold it down, look at that. It's a little distracting, so if you're playing against somebody in your house, make sure you turn this on and you'll distract your opponent. That way you'll get that win. So let's cycle through the different lighting modes. You press the LEDS button on the backside. That will give you lighting effects depending on the zone. So that's zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and zone 4 right there, as you guys can see. Press the button again. It gives you the full lighting effect with all the different RGB colors. Press it again. Gives you a solid color One more time, it gives you the ripple effect. So if you want to customize the zones, you hold down the LEDS button like so. It will flash and let you know that it's ready to be programmed. And you press the buttons to assign the different colors manually. I'm pretty sure that you can do this as well via the app. This controller does feature 3 different profiles. What does that mean? You're able to program it in 3 different ways. Let's say, for example, you have a fighting profile, an FPS profile, and just a regular profile. You access this by pressing the Pro/Map button on the backside. You press it once and it will blink to let you know that it's on the next profile. So in order to modify the Lumectra, you go ahead and you press the LEDS button on the backside, and you're able to modify each one of them. For example, this one right here, press and hold down the LEDS button on the backside. Now it's in programming mode. So here you can adjust with the right trigger. You can give it maximum brightness. Left trigger, you will reduce the brightness down to 0. Let's go ahead and raise up the brightness all the way. You use the left bumper to adjust all the zones, as you guys can see right there. Right bumper adjusts all the zone colors. The left directional pad, you can cycle through all the different modes. Right directional pad, you select the zones. Up and down will raise the brightness or lower it. The view button sets the speed for all the zones. So it could be slow motion, or you can make it go fast. Same thing for the menu button, controls the speed. And if you want to control the colors, Y is for yellow, X is for blue, A is for green, and B is for red. In order to exit the Lumectra programming mode, you press the back button again. It will flash and let you know that it's done. So now in order for you to program each zone, you hold down the LEDS button again, it will flash, and that lets you know which zone it's programming right now. I know I told you guys before, it was here, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4 is actually divided into like a pizza. So as you guys can see right there, that's zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. All right, so let's go here. You could lower the brightness on zone 1 or raise it up, whichever way you want. Change the color. X is for blues, Y is for yellows, B is for reds, and A is for green. Now, if you want to adjust all the zone colors, you press the right bumper button, and this will change all the zone colors to whichever color that you want. You want to adjust all the zone modes, you hold down the LB button. That will switch between all the different modes that are available. You want to increase the brightness on all the zones, right trigger, left trigger will decrease the brightness. So let's go ahead and exit that programming mode. Press the LEDS button, the controller will flash, and now you're out of the programming mode for the RGB lights. I will show you how the controller works via the PowerA HQ app. That will be installed on the PC and or the Xbox. All right, guys, so what you do here is you go to the PowerA website, then you go to products, Xbox Series X controllers, and you will look for the Fusion Power Wireless Controller. Click on that. Then you will go almost to the bottom of the page where it says PowerA Gamer HQ app. Learn more. You download it from right here, and you're able to control everything that I showed you manually on the overhead shot. You could do it here directly on the app itself. The app itself will recognize once the controller is plugged in. Press A to select it. You could test or calibrate the buttons, as you guys can see right there. You got the left thumbstick, right thumbstick, A, B, X, Y. You're able to test out all the buttons on the controller, make sure that everything is working properly, and you're also able to calibrate it from this app itself. In order to exit from this, you hold down the view button and the menu button. I went back to this screen so I could show you guys the other options. Remap buttons. Right here, you're able to remap the buttons. Remember I showed you how to map it out manually? On the app, you're able to see which buttons you're assigning to the back paddles or reassigning buttons in that case. So let's go back. Right here, you're actually able to adjust the trigger dead zones. You could customize it to however you want. Then you got your left and right thumbsticks. Right here, in case you got some stick drift, you're able to adjust it there. Audio settings. Here, you're able to adjust the volume control that is located on the bottom of the controller. Is this one right here. As you guys can see on the overhead shot, you're able to adjust it right here, whether you want more game audio or more chat audio or right in between. For the vibration, you have 4 motors, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. You're actually able to adjust the intensity to however you like them. And RGB settings. So we did touch base on how to program the RGB settings manually, but this makes it a lot easier. You're able to adjust zone, wave, ripple, or fade. This is a much easier way to have control over the RGB, because the other way, the manual way, it's a little bit more time consuming and a little bit more tedious to get it to the colors that you want, because you cannot visually see what you're selecting. You're going based off of button presses. So let's go ahead and switch to ripple. You guys can see right there, ripple means that when you make a movement, the controller will react a certain way, kind of like when you drop a stone into the water and the ripples go away from it. Same thing here. Or it does the fade, the wave, as you guys can see right there. You're able to do normal, slow, or fast. And as far as zones go, you're able to switch between zone 1, 2, 3, or 4. So let's go ahead and see this right here. Let's take the rainbow off, set that to green. All right, even though I was very happy to see that the software had the RGB settings here, it seems like the zone controls, you're actually unable to select from the color wheel, as you guys can see here. That really sucks, because I thought that with this app, they had knocked it out of the park in combination with the controller itself, but it appears to be that it doesn't function the way I thought it would. We're going to go ahead and try out the controller on the Xbox app and see if it works better on that one. But you guys saw right there, you're able to control, test, remap buttons, trigger buttons, left stick, audio, vibration, and RGB settings. So let's go ahead and run it on the Xbox and see how does it work there. I have the Xbox booted up. Now what you want to do here is you want to search for the PowerA Gamer HQ. I have my Fusion Pro wireless controller hooked up already. Go ahead and click on that. Install it. You want to go ahead and download that. Okay, so to identify the controller, you press Y. It will vibrate to let you know that that's the controller you're holding. Press A. So we have the same options that we did on the PC. You could go into test and calibrate. Same thing here. Bam, just like that. You're able to test out all the buttons. To test the rumble, you press A and R. The rumble on the right trigger, rumble on the left trigger, pulse, impulse. To exit this part of the actual app, hold down the menu and the view. As you guys can see, it's the same options that we had on the PC. Controller select, test, calibrate, remap buttons, trigger buttons, left stick, audio settings, vibration, and RGB settings. Right here, you're able to adjust the triggers just like on the PC. Okay, so the ones we were having issues with was the RGB settings. So let's go in there. All right, guys, so the RGB settings on the Xbox app should be a lot more easier. And let's see if we're actually able to change the color of the controller via the app itself. We have this section selected here, zone 1. Let's go to the color wheel. Let's move this over to blue and select it. There you go. It actually changed it to blue. And right now it's set to breathing. So what we want to do here is move over to static, changes it to a static color, and we could go over to zone 2 and give it a funky effect. Go to the color wheel. This takes a little bit of time in order to customize it, but I feel that on the app itself, it works a lot better. So let's go ahead and select purple. All right, there we go. We got purple right there. And you guys get the idea. You could go back down here and select another color, put it in blue, and bam, customize it to however you want. Believe it or not, the app works better on the actual console opposed to the PC. PowerA, you gotta work out the bugs on the color wheel selector because you cannot select it via the PC. On the Xbox, no problem. You could change it to wave, go to ripple, same effect, and fade. Look at that, guys. There it is, the Fusion Pro wireless controller with Lumectra. Alright guys, there it is, the Fusion Pro wireless by PowerA with Lumectra. This is a pretty cool controller, but the price tag, it's $149.99. I assume it has a lot to do with the Lumectra, which is the customizable lighting. The downside to the controller is the fact that these back buttons right here, they're located too low on the actual handles, and you'll wind up pressing them with your ring fingers. If you play a little bit too rough, you end up pressing them. Now, if you don't have those buttons assigned, there's no need to worry because you will not accidentally activate them. As far as the app goes, the app works great on the Xbox. You guys saw it working, and we're able to control all the lighting, everything else on the controller itself, remap the buttons, everything works. Now, for the PC side of it, even though this controller is compatible with the PC, the app doesn't work quite well just yet. PowerA, there's some bugs in there. Just to let you know, the color wheel selector doesn't work well on the PC, so that might be something you need to look into, because no matter how hard I tried, it was not changing the color on the controller. You can use the controller wired to your PC or your Xbox, or you can use it via the dongle. You could plug in the dongle on your Xbox, it'll work wirelessly. Plug in the dongle on your PC, it'll work wirelessly. So let me know down in the comments below if you feel that the $149.99 price tag on the Fusion Pro wireless controller is well worth it. In all honesty, I don't think it's worth the $149.99. Maybe $129.99, I would say. The fact that the app doesn't work quite well on the PC is not a factor in it. The bottom part, the grips, they're okay, but the placement of the back buttons, maybe I'm being a little bit too nitpicky, not too sure. You let me know down in the comments below if you feel the same way. Now, as far as the front goes, I think that's pretty cool, but it might get old a little bit too quick. The fact that there's actually a permanent design on it, maybe, hey, PowerA, make the front plate swappable to different designs, or maybe allow us to customize our own faceplate and make it glow through just like that. That's a pretty cool idea, right? Oh yeah, and guys, you're able to remove the puck from the charging stand and just attach it to the back of the controller like that and charge it that way. Other than that, the controller works great. So if you're a dad, woo, a gaming dad looking for your next controller to amuse the friends or confuse the ops, don't forget to check out my latest video. But till next time, guys, I'm Tech. Peace out. I'm about to go play against my kids and see if the lighting will distract them and maybe I get a win.